I'm Timmy.
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan.
This is Real Tech Days.
What's a tight?
It's not a tight.
What the hell is that?
It's a tight. TYT. Tight.
This is apparently one of Asia's finest amateur radios. The TH-9000D comes in 3 flavors. You have your 2-meter flavor.
Is it tasty?
You have your 70-centimeter flavor.
And then you have your crazy flavor. Oh, yeah, that's just us.
Then you have the flavor that this box doesn't really indicate it is, since it's showing a 2-meter frequency on screen. This is a 1.25 meter mobile radio. That's 222 megahertz.
Yep.
Come on, guys. Take a new picture.
Well, you know.
They don't cost that much.
I think I gave about $60 for this, something like that, because I thought they weren't going to make them anymore, and I found one.
$60, huh?
I've had this for a while. I can't even tell you if it's still on the market or not. Hopefully it is.
How many zeros? Is that like a 9 million?
It's a 9000D.
Oh,
so
okay. That's a D.
It says here
I
on this
bet
barcode
Google knows.
that it's frequency 220 to 260 megahertz. So this, I guess, counts as an unboxing. We will show you.
Now, the 220, but isn't that very crowded? Like, everybody's using that, right?
No.
Really, nobody around here is using it.
That's sadly enough.
So why would I buy something that nobody's using?
That I quit asking those questions
If
years
you
ago.
use it, they will come.
Are you sure about that?
If you use it, they will come.
Okay.
You don't have to believe it. You just have to use it.
It's up to you.
You just have to throw your old call sign out there. The 1.25 meter band is available to all licensed amateur radio operators in the United States.
Neat.
Um,
And probably other parts of the globe as well.
Not very many.
Really?
It's only available in the ITU region we're in.
No kidding.
And like one somewhere else. Which
Somebody
I will
did
put
some
below
research.
Because, well, I actually had that memorized. But
Hey,
that is why it's hard to get radios. So
there's one of them on that Amazon place.
there you go. It's not as cheap as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't think anything's as cheap as it used to be right now.
That's why there are almost no radios manufactured in present day for this band. In the 80s, when it was originally created, I think there was a big flurry of activity from the big three, Yacom would. Yaesu, ICOM, and Kenwood made some radios, and they didn't sell well, so they say, hey, we're done. We're going to sell radios that people use. So occasionally they'll release something with that. But TYT, whoever the heifer they are, released this guy. So we're going to unbox it here. Then we'll see what we got in here.
Ooh.
Look at that.
It's purty. It's purty.
Yeah, we have a manual.
Nobody needs that.
Manual.
Just throw that away.
It says inside here. It says, and I will read this verbatim. Our TYT Electronics Co. Limited radio generators RF electromagnetic energy during transmit mode. It generators it.
I beg your pardon
It
now?
says that. It says generators. This radio is designed for and classified as occupational use only. It must be used only during the course of employment by individuals aware of the hazards and the ways to minimize such hazards.
But
Do we have to be employed?
But it's an amateur radio. You can't be employed you can be employed.
That's true.
But there seems to be some contradictory information here.
I sure love English.
Yeah. I really wish
What
they'd
is
find
that
someone
here?
to translate this into,
Anything?
actual English.
2 customers.
Yes?
Thank you very much for using TYT two-way radios.
You're quite welcome.
This product has a newly developed function menu and humanism operation design, making it easy to use.
Ooh.
It will meet your requirement by the compact size and reasonable price.
How do they know?
I don't know.
They don't know what my requirement is. Little presumptuous.
Well, the requirement, I assume, is that you bought it and want to use it.
They
Yes,
don't know that.
Well, that's true. I mean,
TH-9000D mobile radio has nice housing, stoutness, and stability.
Stoutness,
Advanced and reliable
Let me
functions.
see the thing.
Perfect and valuable. It's perfect.
I don't know if that's all that valuable,
perfect.
man.
Display.
Give me that radio.
Let's just see about this stoutness
I want to
and
check.
stability.
In that red toolbox, there's a hammer.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Let's get this out of the
So I guess it
plasticles.
is. I guess it's kind of small, but I don't know if it meets my requirements.
Look at that.
It's got a good heat sink on it. I will give him that.
Heat sink. It's got a speaker that may or may not have a good cover. It actually feels pretty nice. It's die cast on top. So
Well, there you go.
here, I'll pass it down. You fellers can have a gander. Hook your peepers into
I'll
that.
laugh at it a little bit.
I mean, that feels fine.
It feels a lot like the Socotran I've got, which is
Socotran. I bet it has a good manual too.
I dislike
But it
that
is well
radio.
built, though. I mean, it doesn't sound like,
So it comes with your typical, what do they call that, T connector. That's
Yes.
what we're going to call it today.
I believe that is what that's called.
For use in your
Automobile.
rolling automobile. And then here we got in the plastics, we got, here's our voice transmitting device. Looks like we got our
No, it's your
J45
voice.
style connector.
It's your voice receiving device.
Like voice receiving. It force sends the voice to the far nether regions.
It's
got
that is a little feller, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got some controls here. What we have lamp, so it must have backlight with a switch and a lock, which
I don't know why
that's
this
a
is
push to
D
talk.
on it.
yeah, that actually feels pretty nice. And it's got
It's quite
DTMF,
clicky.
and it looks like it has onboard controls. That's pretty nice.
Well, that's
We'll
what's good for.
here later in the video show how to program it and some basics like that.
Actually, it looks pretty well built. I like the D10 knob.
Looks like you got it comes with a variety of fuses and mounting screws. That's kind of nice actually. So.
I don't think I like that. I don't know why you do.
I haven't used it yet.
It's very tactile.
And unlike ICOM, which you usually have to buy these separately for now, you get an actual metal mounting bracket.
Oh, yes, you do have to buy those with Icons, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to buy something really expensive to mount the stupid faceplate with. Sorry.
So here we'll give you an overview
I
now
love Icom.
on how to program it and get it set up. Okay, we're about to do the first power up of the TH-9000D TYT 222 megahertz 1.25 meter mobile. Got it rigged up to a pyramid power supply, which I've also never used. I've had it a couple years, bought it off a local ham friend used. So let's see what we get here. Power's on, power supply. Alright. Got a backlit key, those are pretty nice. Looks like you can turn that off and on, oh yeah. Let's start with the basics here. You have a function key that shifts some modes. You have a P1 that's a call key. I can just set the same frequency out of the box. P2 is actually your squelch on and off. So you get the busy light there. Turn it back on. P3 is your between VFO and memory mode. Looks like we're in memory, I assume, with the M and the 0 there. Yeah, sure enough. Okay, yeah, look at that. And okay, that does not change your channel. Of course, there's probably none programmed yet, obviously. P5 is set. CTCSS or DSS. There's your PL tones. CTCSS. In my region, it's usually 136.5 or 107.2. However, before 3OTD gets accused of not fully reviewing the radio, I do not have a transmitting antenna or a receiving antenna for this rig, and even if I did, I would have to operate simplex locally. And there are no repeaters in my immediate region. The nearest is about 40 miles, so you'll be seeing future segments on that when we test this radio for real with a big 220 beam I have. I do not have it on site. It's out at our, I'm at home. I don't have it here. I have it out at our local ham radio club where we've often shot videos before.
When you press the function key and use F1, that's how you can change your power. So there's medium, low, I assume that's high. I like low. Low is safe in case we bump the mic key, which I don't plan to. Function and F2 is your voice compander. You see a little indicator there, it's a little hard to see. Blue is washing out on my camera. Come on now, there we go. I'm going to turn that back off. Now we'll get into the programming. So let's say we have a repeater, not a repeater, but I'm going to set 222/500 for something. We want to store that in memory. You're going to go function, P3. Now when I switch to this, you'll see it's there. Okay, let's set another memory channel. We'll do 223/6. So we'll do function. Press function once and see it's already blinking. That's interesting. So I guess that's when you pick the memory channel you want. Yeah. We'll do 223/600. Then you push, I guess, P3 again. So I should have memory 0 and 2, and I do. 223/500 and 600. Always a little bit of a learning curve with these guys. Function and P4 will delete a memory channel. Function and P4 will delete a memory channel. So let's delete memory 0. So it's function, see memory flashing. There you go. Oh, interesting. It expects you to set another one, I guess. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, maybe I didn't do it right. Function P5 locks keypad. You got keypad lock, so you would reverse that with function and P5. You can do direct frequency entry simply by being in VFO mode, which you can get with F3. Looks like you can do it with the mic here as well. Yep. There's a button, VFO MR. Works the same way as P3. Okay, I've been tinkering around with this. Figured out a few basics. First we're going to go back to VFO. We're going to enter a repeater I'd like to program that we'll use in a future video, hopefully. And that is at 224/600. Now we need to set the tone on this repeater we'll be using someday. We're not using it today. Again, I don't have a transmitting antenna. To do that, we'll hit this. The tone will be... Well, it doesn't appear to have a tone, but we're going to pretend we do. We're going to leave it at 107.2. You hold down P5 so you see the tone indicator. So now when you transmit, it will transmit a 107.2 tone. So now we're going to hold down the set button. Alright? It'll take a second. Oh, did that wrong. These things are hard to get right. So let's go function set. There we go. Now we're in the settings menu. This isn't a whole lot unlike a Bayo thing, as far as I can tell. I don't want to be in that band. 2.5. TX on, lock off, reverse on. Fudge around with this fella. Oh, you change your lamp color. Ooh, there we go. Change your colors. Again, this is by hitting function and holding set until you get into the mode. That one shows on the camera nicely. We'll keep him. Let's keep going. Restore step. I definitely don't want a 1.25 step. I want a 5 kilohertz. So do that? Yeah. Now we're in business. We'll probably want this off. Yep, it's about as clear as mud, like a Bayo thing. Okay, we've got our power set. We've got our tone set. Power set by function P1, See? And tone set by function P5. No, ad blocks, sorry. Just P5. And you can change it or whatever, and then you hold down P5. You want to see the tone indicator. So now we're going to press F. F, P4. That's not doing what the manual says. Alright, we'll try this again. It says F, P4. Press F key until the F icon displays. Okay. And press F4. Display shows offset. It does no such thing. Okay, let's try something new. Tried that 3 or 4 times. That didn't do anything. Let's do function. Pick a memory. 5's good. Hit that. So now it should be in memory mode. 3, 224, 600. See if it only does it in memory mode. Function P4. What is that? That doesn't do crap. Look at my stuff on my microphone here. We got reverse, we got skip, we got MR, we got 5 tone, we got scan, we got time off timer, dial, call, reverse. It really makes me think of that. Oh. Function, rev. Yeah. Geez, this thing's a pain. There it is. That's stupid. Okay. You hold it in. It says press function and then press it, and that's what it does, and that's not what it does. I'm telling you, it's not. Of course, all these guys will be like, RT, FM. I'm like, yeah, well, I did read the manual, guys. And it says right here, it says press F key until the F icon displays LCD, then press P4 key, LCD displays offset, directional, and frequency. It did nothing. We're going to hold this in now, alright? And I'll bet you it should be 1.6. If this is even it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we're just going to do a cheat transmit. Nope. I don't even know what that freaking is. Alright, well, since I've greatly failed at this, which won't shock most 3OTD viewers, we're going to program this with Chirp once we get a cable for it, and I will get back with y'all on how this is done. But programming it by the book, that's crazy. It's not easy. It's not an ICOM, it's not a Kenwood. But at least we got you your basics. Sort of. That is in the book on pages 14 and 15. Got a pretty good getting acquainted section that shows you your basic key information. Some of which works, some of which just doesn't. So, I mean, it says things like hold this and that together. It says like hold this and that together. Well, wait. So I gotta hold it down. Does nothing. It gives me the same result. I don't know. This thing's crazy. I bet it's a pretty good rig. We'll get her figured out and come back with you in a new segment in the future.
What else we got in the book here?
Oh,
Never connect the transceiver to a 24-volt battery. No kidding.
why not?
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
What'll happen?
Magic
That's the worst
smoke.
that could happen.
The magic smoke rolls out of
You
the
will
various
release the
orifices
magic
of the
smoke.
device. Orifices. Yeah. I think radios have orifices. This part of the manual is written fairly more correctly.
Is there a coffee warning in there?
I wonder why we would ask that question.
Thou shalt not spill thine coffee into
Or
thine
thy
radio.
find thy microprocessor in thy ICOM. So,
Yeah.
Poor little radio.
Tim doesn't know anything about that.
Even ICOM couldn't fix that hot mess.
first RF 634. Oh.
Actually, it's really so. It's 65 watt / 45.
It claims 65 watt. We'll have to throw it on a meter.
I
don't know
bet
if
it's
I don't know if I
not.
have a meter for 220. I might though.
I do.
I don't for 220.
I have one that's 2 through 440, so we'll do 220. I've got that one dummy load. Do you have a big dummy load?
I do.
Okay. Mine's a small one, of course, but I never know how to buy anything small.
Is that your speaking hole?
Probably.
That's a talkie-talk hole, yeah.
That's a very large one.
That's where you got to cram your voice on through there, so it goes
and
out
it's
down the
poorly
wire.
positioned. That's awful where they put that because your hand naturally covers it. Well, look you'd have to hope you're gonna.
It worked for China.
There we go. What do you think will happen?
It has a voice compander.
A voice compander?
Yeah.
It'll compand
It
my
has
voice.
an auto dialer for DTMF
Ooh, wow.
for all those auto patches on 220 right here.
Did anyone actually use auto patch? That's a good. So
I
here's
did.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Dude.
I did. I used
Apparently.
now, but I
no
used
now.
to.
Does anyone actually use it now? I did back in the day.
Our local repeater has one still, but I
I don't know
highly
that
doubt
will-
anyone has used it in many years.
When I first found out that we had it, I actually did
Tried
use
it out,
I
yeah.
I called my voicemail and left myself a voice message.
Well, you're probably the last person to use it too.
Called yourself and
I
you didn't
probably
answer,
am.
did you? So that's a problem.
Man, I was hoping for some good fun reading here, that's comical, but it really is only in the front of the book.
Is that entire book in English?
It is.
Wow.
But the later parts of the English are pretty good. Almost like they're written by somebody that was a native speaker.
Well, that would be useful.
The first part, I don't even think that's like translated by a human. I think they can plunk that
That's
into
actually
Google.
possible.
I think they can kerplunk that into Google Translate, and that's what it spat
So my
out.
plan is to
Should
use
be better than that. But
this just for fun in my vehicle. Maybe to try to get into what rare 220s are around. I have a large 220 beam that we've tried to use with an HD. We're probably going to try that out down the road.
I hope it goes better than last time.
It should. I would hope. My goodness. And
I almost got smashed by an antenna.
That's
Yeah.
true, and I watched it. I laughed.
you're all like, oh!
And I was over there trying not to drop the camera laughing so hard.
It was coming
I'm
at
like
me.
20 feet away going, there's the reason I'm back here.
It was coming at me like a spider
Too
monkey.
stupid to put antennas up correctly. So
So I guess we'll figure out, well, you will have, by the time this airs, tested this radio. So we're trying to come up with some neat ways to do some ham radio stuff that people don't generally use, like fox hunting and 220 and various other bits.
sure.
So I have a 220 radio. It's actually behind us in the storage room, but it is in little bitty pieces, and it's definitely from the mid 70s.
It's old.
It's ugly.
It's old and it's ugly and it's in a pile of parts.
It's yeah.
Why is it in a pile of parts?
Because someone tried to fix it at one point, not me. And they put the wrong LED in it, and it actually does use 7-segment LEDs for the display.
Mhm.
And they put the wrong one that didn't have like built-in resistors and fried the
Oh.
chip or the
Ouch.
couple chips that were driving it.
I don't know.
So I had replaced the chips and realized they'd actually used the wrong display.
Okay.
So I need to
So that's
rebuild
where you left
that.
off. Okay.
Yeah, and that's just kind of where I got left off because it was hard to find parts, and then
Man,
life happened and children and everything else.
Yeah.
I should bring him my Kenwood that you gave me.
That thing's trashed. I couldn't make heads or tails of that thing. It's such a neat old radio. but not-
It looks cool. Is the only reason I wanted it.
It was like a TS 520 or something.
No.
I can't even remember.
It's a
what
2-meter
model.
mobile
Yeah.
from the early or mid 80s. But it
It's a basket case inside.
you power it up and it just blows the fuse immediately. Like it's like straight shorted, and I can't figure out why or how or where or what's blown up.
Nice.
And it's got like 14,000 little boards inside of it. And then I'm like, I'm not working on this.
Yeah. And he's like,
Hey, Justin, you thought this looked cool. Here.
It's more of a doorstop than a radio at this point. So.
yeah. That's the one thing that I think in ham radio has been lost. Not completely, but mostly. Is
some guy just looked at me and said, "Appliance operator!" So he yelled at the screen. So, to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because you can't just simply go out and buy like back in the day when they had Heathkit, for example, which I mean they still exist, but you could go out and buy literally an HF radio, like a nice one, like an SW101 or something like that, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But and you could easily work on that thing. You open it up, it's easy to find all the parts. Yeah, it was tube, but the later ones were transistor with TTL logic boards and everything else. Which I'm bidding on one right now.
Nice.
So, but it's one of those things. It's like it's really kind of sad when you can't do anything to fix these.
Yeah.
But they're at the point now where they're like, it's almost what the thing running like $40, maybe $50. Somewhere in that
What's
range.
that?
That thing.
That's around 60.
Around $60. $60, especially if you
sale,
think if you think like Baofeng HT.
Mm-hmm.
Baofeng.
You don't fix it. You literally throw them in a recycle bin and buy another one. You can buy them.
I want to say 60. I may have paid more.
Well,
I stopped at throwing it in the
train was about
recycle
that.
bin. I didn't buy another one.
Yeah,
Because this is actually a pretty good radio. Some people have trouble with them, from what I've read, but they're popular for 2 meters as well. So.
Yeah.
Plus, they apparently have if you look on the very back here, which I'll show a close up of this here. Look back here. See the RS-232 cutout?
What?
You can actually get into the main signals and use these as a true repeater radio, like the
wow.
core signal and stuff's
Sweet.
available for the squelch.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of 220 homebrew repeaters are made with this as either the receiver or the transmitter, or one for both. So,
Nice.
yeah. So, and that may be what I do in the future when I build one, because I'd love to build a 220 repeater here locally. So
That would be fun.
Yep.
We'll get to building on it.
I ought to.
What's stopping you?
I don't think time, mostly, because I was going to
yeah.
I was going to make another club repeater with new pair. So.
Yeah.
We got tower space.
We sure do.
So I tell you what, let us know if you've used 220. If you have, what radio did you use?
Yeah, put it down in the comments.
And then if you're so inclined, I'm kind of curious as to what type of radios people actually use in the day. My old one's a Midland, which I didn't even know they made ham radios, but apparently they did. So it needs to be fixed. But I have all the manuals for it. I just need to do it.
Sure.
At this point, it's project number 9 billion on my list. Yeah. But what was it like? So 220. I actually used 220 when I was a novice.
Okay.
Because it was one of the bands that you could actually use with a straight novice only license. I had 220 and a 10-meter radio, and those are the voice bands you could use.
Absolutely.
That I could get a hold of.
Yep.
So, and of course I quickly got my tech after that. But so that's why I bought 220 is I wanted to be able to actually talk to some people, and I had a Radio Shack 10-meter rate.
Here in Indiana, there's 220 near large cities. That seems to be pretty common.
And I was up in Indianapolis
at
the
Indy,
time.
there's still 6 or 7, I'm going to say, around Indy. The closest being in Martinsville. And they're all online. I don't know how active they are, but because I've got a couple of like the Baofeng UV5X3s. Actually, I have 2 of them. That's a Baofeng with a modified, I don't know how they do it, but it actually can transmit on 220 in the U.S. And I have driven up in Indianapolis, and I have brought those repeaters up just fine with just a rubber duck antenna, and I've not made a contact yet, but I always throw my call out if I think of being in Indianapolis and managing to take one of those radios with me while I'm up there. So.
Yeah. So, just leave us a comment as to what kind of 220 or any other odd bands that you've used, and what equipment you used to actually make that work, which I always find it fascinating to see what other people have used it back in the day, or even still use now. I had friends who would refuse to use anything modern, and they used all older stuff. I mean, like spy radios. From
It's harder to find antennas for this. You're probably going to be homebrewing antennas. I intend to convert a quarter wave 2 meter to this band just by adding a different stick in it that's the right height, so for mobile use.
Yep.
So
I actually
be
have
a little bit shorter, but not as short as a 440.
Yeah. Back in when I was getting into, I actually bought a 5/8 wave 220 mobile antenna for this. It was a pro-made, 220 antenna.
They're out there, but it's hard to find antennas.
Yeah.
There are far less options available. So
Yeah.
base, mobile, etc. So.
So anyway, neat.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a comment, hit the bell so you know when we release new stuff. Sometimes we're sporadic, sometimes we do weekly. It's we're a busy crew. We're not always around to make videos, and then editing happens after that. So
yeah, that takes a while because we're not good at keeping on. We drift.
Squirrel.
Yeah, but we're glad you're sticking with us. If you've been watching with us for a while, and if you're new to the channel and just find us via this video, welcome. We do a lot of different content. We do amateur radio and all kinds of electronics, especially stuff that's been around for a while. That's the old, in 3 old tech dudes. It's not that we're old. Some may judge us that way.
Oh.
But the tech is often old. But this is a new radio, so there you go. But anyway, drop a comment. Tell us about the 220 radios you've had or experiences you've had on the band, and love to hear your stories. Because we don't have many stories on 220 around here. Nathan sounds like he has some, and that's about it. So, till next time, I'm Timmy.
I'm Justin.
I'm Nathan.
And this is 3 Old Tech Dudes.
10-3.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on 3 Old Tech Dudes. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more tech old and new, tinkering at the workbench, repairs, ham radio, electronics, computers, and more. Please like this video and share 3OTD with your friends to help us grow the channel. We tweet at 3 Old Tech Dudes 1 on Twitter, and you can keep up with us on Facebook. Just search for 3OTD and look for our logo. Thanks so much for watching.